Good morning. Welcome to yet another satisfying Saturday. Today will be very satisfying because we will learn something new today as well. So let's start our morning with an absolute brilliant manifestation, creative visualization. When we're running towards our dreams. So be it. Let's speak state program and let's go for it. So good to see you all again in a short gap. Yes, I'm a winner. How wonderful. Once again, let's run towards our dreams. Yes, we are winners in our wonderful game of life. And so it is. All right, let's have reader for the day. Somebody wishes to volunteer. Meetu, would you want to read for all of us? Okay, thank you, Rico and Avi. No, that is like rarity. You did say yesterday and I forgot about it. So it's so wonderful. Amazing. Ikigai is today's flavor, yet again in the morning. And yesterday we concluded our talking about all the distractions, the scientific studies about multitasking, about how we should schedule and go in the flow and just learn those beautiful points so that we can grow as much better people. Today we'll talk about Japan, how they flow in Japan, what are the philosophies they have, ideologies they have, and how do they go about it. So yes, thank you, my dear friends. Please, over to you. Ritesh, sir, you can make them, yes, the co-host. Perfect.
So, very good morning.
Good morning.
We start from the flow in Japan. Japan, Takumis, engineers, geniuses, and otakus. What do Takumis, artisans, engineers, inventors, and otakus, fans of anime and manga, have in common? They all understand the importance of flowing with their ikigai at all times. One widespread stereotype about people in Japan is that they're exceptionally dedicated and hardworking. Even though some Japanese people say they look like they're working harder than they really are. There is no doubt, though, about their ability to be completely absorbed in a task or about their perseverance when there's a problem to be solved. One of the first words one learns when starting Japanese lessons is ganbaru, which means to persevere or to stay firm by doing one's best. Japanese people often apply themselves to even the most basic tasks with an intensity that borders on obsession. We see this in all kinds of contexts, from the retirees taking meticulous care of the rice fields in the mountains of Nagano to the college students working in the weekend shift in convenience stores known as konbinis. If you go to Japan, you'll experience this attention to detail firsthand in almost every transaction. Walk into one of the stores that sell handcrafted objects in Naha, Kanazawa, or Kyoto, and you'll also discover that Japan is a treasure trove of traditional craftwork. The people of Japan have a unique talent for creating new technologies while preserving artisanal traditions and techniques.
Thank you. So, how do they flow in Japan? Don't they flow wonderfully? Now we've read about this. Now they're saying they appear to be working hard, but they're actually not working hard. Why? So the word hard in itself is deceptive. It says that something is tough. But if they have a passion which is close to obsession and they put all of them in their work, they are just loving it. They are just killing it. Why? Because they're just absolutely in the flow. And now, of course, the traditions are beautiful. It's all about preserving. It's all about staying firm with what one does best. That's one of the ikigai. There's one of their foundations. People, even college students, are working, and they've got stores specially designed in a fashion that these children can earn the extra money by working in konbinis. So beautiful Ganbaru and konbini concept is. Even now, you'll read about something more about the handicraft objects. These guys are always reinventing themselves, having a modern technology, but preserving their artisanal traditions and techniques. Isn't that absolutely magical? This is why Japan is famous for so many more things. The currency is so strong because that is their tradition, that's their foundation. Let's now understand the art of the takumis.
Toyota employs artisans who are able to make a certain type of screw by hand. These takumi or experts in a particular manual skill are extremely important to Toyota, and they are hard to replace. Some of them are the only people who know how to perform their exact skill. And it doesn't seem as though a new generation is going to take up the mantle. Turntable needles are another example. They're produced almost exclusively in Japan, where you can find the last remaining people who know how to use the machinery required to make these precision needles, and who are trying to pass on their knowledge to their descendants.
So again, very important to understand that, of course, Toyota company, we know the cars are really amazing. Now they have takumis, they have experts who are manually very sound, and these people know exactly how they're supposed to work. And the best is they keep passing on the skills. It's not like, I hoard it, it's mine. They're passing on very cautiously so that other people can keep taking their positions, so that art doesn't die. Otherwise, many a times that I, me, and am ego doesn't let people share their secrets. If you ask a woman of a recipe of something that she cooks very well, she's like, no, I'll send it over. People don't share because it's like, I don't know what's up with sharing. Sharing is caring. This is what takumis are doing. So it's very beautiful to understand that takumi culture is amazing. And the next few paragraphs, it's all about that. So let's read it.
We met Takumi on a visit to Kumano, a small town near Hiroshima. We were there for the day, working on a photo essay for one of the most famous brands of makeup brushes in the West. The billboard welcoming visitors to Kumano shows a mascot holding a large brush. In addition to the brush factories, the town is full of little houses and vegetable gardens. Heading further in, you can see several Shinto signs at the base of mountains that surround the town. We spent hours taking photos in factories full of people in orderly rows, each doing a single task, such as painting the handles of the brushes or loading boxes of them onto trucks. Before we realized, we still hadn't seen anyone actually putting bristles into the brush heads. After we asked about this and got the runaround several times, the president of one company agreed to show us how it was done. He led us out of the building and asked us to get into his car. After a 5-minute drive, we parked next to another smaller structure and climbed the stairs. He opened the door and we walked into a small room filled with windows that let in lovely natural light. In the middle of the room was a woman wearing a mask. You could see only her eyes. She was so focused on choosing individual bristles for the brushes, gracefully moving her hands and fingers, using scissors and combs to sort the bristles that she didn't even notice our presence. Her movements were so quick, it was hard to tell what she was doing. The president of the company interrupted her to let her know that we would be taking photos as she worked. We couldn't see her mouth, but the glint in her eye and the cheerful inflection in her speech let us know she was smiling. She looked happy and proud, talking about her work and responsibilities. We had to use extremely fast shutter speeds to capture her movements. Her hands danced and flowed in concert with her tools and bristles she was sorting. The president told us that this Takumi is one of the most important people in the company, even though she was hidden away in a separate building. Every bristle of every brush the company made passed through her hands.
How wonderful, right? First, I don't know how many of you observed, there's a billboard which is welcoming visitors to Kumano. They're happy to showcase their skills. It's not like, okay, my factory is exclusive, it's absolutely secretive, you're not coming. They're welcoming people because they're sharing. Sharing is caring. And the more they expand people seeing, the more goodness expands. They're believing in the law of attraction. Now, if you look at the fact that this Takumi, where is she working? She's working in a place, in a small little room, yes, but it's filled with windows. What does it do? It gives us a natural light. So the light is definitely giving us energy, and that's what is happening. Now the woman is so beautifully focused in her work that she's not even realizing that people are around her. She's gracefully moving from adding one bristle to another bristle to another bristle, that she's so intertwined that she's flowing completely. No idea what's happening outside. Now the people can't see her face, but they can see glint in the eye. They can see her cheerful inflection. And then she's just so happy. She's found her purpose. She loves what she's doing. Her hands are dancing and they're flowing. Isn't this what all of us would love to do? To do something which makes our soul laugh and smile. Okay, I'm going for work, and that is the like that should be heaven on earth. That kind of feeling is what this woman is going through. And these takumis, these artisans, are absolutely blessed, and they keep passing on their traits. So we see a lot of good things in Japanese culture, where things are moving on in a very beautiful way. I would say pristine way. Now let's talk about Steve Jobs' experience in Japan. It's very beautiful to read about this. Yes, let's go for it.
Apple co founder Steve Jobs was a big fan of Japan. Not only did he visit the Sony factories in the 1980s and adopt many of their methods when he founded Apple, he was also captivated by the simplicity and quality of Japanese porcelain in Kyoto. It was not, however, an artisan from Kyoto who won Steve Jobs' devotion, but rather a Takumi from Toyama named Yukio Shakunaga, who used a technique called Echu Seto Yaki, known by only a few. Next, please. On a visit to Kyoto, Jobs heard of an exhibition of Shakunaga's work. He immediately understood that there was something special about Shakunaga's porcelain. As a matter of fact, he bought several cups, vases, and plates and went back to show 3 times that week. Jobs returned to Kyoto several times over the course of his life in search of inspiration and ended up meeting Shakunaga in person. It is said that Jobs had many questions for him, almost all of them about the fabrication process and the type of porcelain he used. Shakunaga explained that he used white porcelain he extracted himself from the mountains in the Toyama prefecture, making him the only artist of his ilk familiar with the fabrication process of porcelain objects from their origins in the mountains to their final form, an authentic takumi. Jobs was so impressed that he considered going to Toyama to see the mountain where Shakunaga got his posting, but thought better of it when he heard that it was more than 4 hours by train from Kyoto. In an interview after Jobs' death, Shakunaga said he was very proud that his work had been appreciated by the man who created the iPhone. He added that Jobs' last purchase from him had been a set of 12 teacups. Jobs had asked for something special, a new style. To satisfy this request, Shakunaga made 150 teacups in the process of testing out new ideas. Of these, he chose the 12 best and sent them to the Jobs family. Ever since his first trip to Japan, Jobs was fascinated and inspired by the country's artisans, engineers, especially at Sony, philosophy, especially Zen, and cuisine, especially sushi.
So, how inspirational is this beautiful fact? Steve Jobs had absolutely, he was very, very, very inspired. He's always talked about the fact that Japan was a big thing why he created Apple and how it became so beautiful because, again, he got inspired by the passion. Now, when Steve Jobs was there, all of us read about this, how wonderfully he went to somebody and who was making posting cups and everything was done by himself. And this man, I mean, 12 cups is what Jobs is ordering, and he's trying 150 styles. Look at their commitment. 15 times so many more. And then he's choosing only 12 and sending it. Now, if this is not passion, what is? Every piece is a work of art which involves a part of him and he's loving it. He's creating it. Now, this is what is very inspirational. And of course, Steve Jobs is inspired by a lot of other things. So are all of us. Zen philosophy is known throughout. Sushi has been adapted every single place. Sony, of course, stands still as the tallest brand. So yes, so amazing that culture in Japan is. Now let's read about a very beautiful section: sophisticated simplicity. Yes, please.
What do Japanese artisans, engineers, Zen philosophy, and cuisine have in common? Simplicity and attention to detail. It is not a lazy simplicity, but a sophisticated one that searches out new frontiers, always taking the object, the body and mind, or the cuisine to the next level, according to one's ikigai. As Mihaly would say, the key is always having a meaningful challenge to overcome in order to maintain flow. The documentary Zero Dreams of Sushi gives us another example of a Takumi, this time in the kitchen. Its protagonist has been making sushi every day for more than 80 years and owns a small sushi restaurant near Ginza Rail subway station in Tokyo. He and his son go every day to the famous Tsukiji fish market and choose the best fish to bring back to the restaurant. In the documentary, we can see one of Zero's apprentices learning to make tamago, a thin, slightly sweet omelette. No matter how hard he tries, he can't get Zero's approval. He keeps practicing for years until he finally does.
Understand, a thin little omelette, slightly sweet. And this apprentice is trying to make perfect that because he can't get his mentor's approval for years and years. Now, somebody's making sushi every single day for 80 years. Look at the commitment, look at the integrity, look at the passion. Now, if you keep perfecting yourself over and over and over and over again, you'll become a master of it, right? What happens here? People are moving on to something, then they want to try something, then they want to try something, and they're all over the place. How about picking up something which is absolutely driving all of us and continuing that forever and ever and getting success and being the pioneer, being somebody who's never thought of something and yet you could make it so big. So let's understand further what happened in this story.
Why does the apprentice refuse to give up? Doesn't he get bored cooking eggs every day? No, because making sushi is his ikigai too. Both Zero and his son are culinary artists. They don't get bored when they cook. They achieve a state of flow. They enjoy themselves completely when they are in the kitchen. That is their happiness, their ikigai. They've learned to take pleasure in the work, to lose their sense of time. Beyond the close relationship between father and son, which helps them keep the challenge going each day, they also work in a quiet, peaceful environment that allows them to concentrate. Even after receiving a 3-star rating from Michelin, they never considered opening other locations or expanding the business. They serve just 10 patrons at a time at the bar of their small restaurant. Zero's family isn't looking to make money. Instead, they value good working conditions and creating an environment in which they can flow while making the best sushi in the world. Zero, like Yukio Shokunaga, begins his work at the source. He goes to the fish market to find the best tuna. Shakunaga goes to the mountains to find the best porcelain. When they get down to work, both become one with the object they are creating. This unity with the object that they reach in a state of flow takes on special meaning in Japan, where according to Shintoism, forests, trees, and objects have a kami, spirit or god, within them. When someone, whether an artist, an engineer, or a chef, sets out to create something, his or her responsibility is to use nature to give it life, while respecting that nature at every moment. During this process, the artisan becomes one with the object and flows with it. An iron worker would say that metal has a life of its own, just as someone making ceramics would say that the clay does. The Japanese are skilled at bringing nature and technology together, not man versus nature, but rather a union of the two.
How beautiful. So somebody is learning, perfecting himself. And even if they get 3-star Michelin, they're not money minded that they'll open many more restaurants and compromise on quality. They're happy even after being flooded with people just to take 10 people at a time. You know, how wonderful. This is what is true ikigai, that you never compromise on your principles, your value, and you're just going to create the best out of it. People are handpicking the commodities themselves to make a wonderful project. And just the way in India we feel, but which is not very known, the spirituality world, people who are spiritual will know about this. In Japan, they're very connected to their roots. The Shintoism is all about forests, trees, objects, everything having their own kami, the spirit or the god. We spoke about this yesterday, Eckhart Tolle's thing. All of us have a spirit. So human beings definitely have, animal kingdom definitely has, plant kingdom definitely has. They're even objectifying a metal or something also having a language, which is so true. Everything has a formation. And if you connect with what you're working with, the energy combined is going to just reap results. So let's understand that everything in life has a spirit. And if you're respecting it, we are really going to go really great and great. Now, life is simply they're responsible towards Mother Nature. They're responsible towards their work and they take full commitment, no shortcuts at all. That is why the Japanese are skilled at bringing nature and technology together in a beautiful harmony, a union of the two. And this is where they create magic, because when you get nature, you're healing yourself, technology will work faster because your energy is beautiful, and that's how they are working in it. Now let's read the story of the purity of Ghibli.
There are those who say that Shinto value of being connected with nature is vanishing. One of the harshest critics of this loss is another artist with a clearly defined ikigai, Hayao Miyazaki, the director of the animated films produced by Studio Ghibli. In nearly all his films, we see humans, technology, fantasy, and nature in a state of conflict, and in the end, coming together. One of the most poignant metaphors in his film, Spirited Away, is an obese spirit covered in trash that represents the pollution of the rivers. In Miyazaki's films, forests have personalities, trees have feelings, and robots befriend birds. Considered a national treasure by Japanese government, Miyazaki is an artist capable of becoming completely absorbed in his art. He uses a cell phone from the late 1990s And he makes his entire team draw by hand. He directs his films by rendering on paper even the tiniest details, achieving flow by drawing, not by using a computer. Thanks to this obsession on the director's part, Studio Ghibli is one of the only studios in the world where almost the entire production process is carried out using traditional techniques. Those who have visited Studio Ghibli know that it is fairly typical on a given Sunday to see a solitary individual tucked away in a corner, hard at work. A man in simple clothes who will greet them with a Ohio hello without looking up. Miyazaki is so passionate about his work that he spends many Sundays in the studio, enjoying the state of flow, putting his ikigai above all else. Visitors know that under no circumstances is one to bother Miyazaki, who's known for his quick temper, especially if he is interrupted while drawing. In 2013, Miyazaki announced he was going to retire. To commemorate his retirement, the television studio NHK made a documentary showing him in his last days at work. He's drawing in nearly every scene of the film. In one scene, several of his colleagues are seen coming out of a meeting, and there he is, drawing in a corner, paying no attention to them. In another scene, he's shown walking to work on December 30, a national holiday in Japan, and opening the doors of Studio Ghibli so he can spend the day there drawing alone. Miyazaki can't stop drawing. The day after his retirement, instead of going on vacation or staying at home, he went to Studio Ghibli and sat down to draw. His colleagues put on their best poker faces, not knowing what to say. 1 year later, he announced he wouldn't make any more feature films, but that he would keep on drawing until the day he died. Can someone really retire if he is passionate about what he does?
Retirement is a very misconstrued word, very, very misconstrued. If you're passionate about what you're doing, you want to do it till the end because that drives you. And Ghibli, why was it so famous? This man's movies, I don't know if anybody's seen, everything has a personality of its own. Forests have a language, this forest speaks this language, that forest speaks that language. Trees have feelings which we don't think we know, but that's the truth. And then everything is, it's all about friendship, it's all about camaraderie, it's all about love. And that is why he made it so famous. And his drawings, his illustrations, his movies, his creativity is absolutely par excellence. Today we conclude here. Tomorrow we'll read about the recluses. Thank you, Naveen, for reading so wonderfully for all of us. The power of now is going to be very gradual. I'm going to read a very small section. I don't want to rush the book. So some of you will say, oh, we just read one story or one section. But that's how the power of now is. It's very deep. So the idea is to take back something, reflect on it, and ponder that what was said. So every time we see the word the silent symbol, we go into silence of at least 2 minutes and we think about what we have read. It's time to ponder. So we're going to go very slow in that journey. So don't be in a rush because it's really, really, really deep. So let's understand that you and I'm here on a purpose of finding what we really truly want. Sir, we haven't done the page number 11. You've moved on to page number 12. 11 we haven't done. Yes, we are on this page. So we have had silence yesterday and let's have silence today before we start this, or you want to do it later? We've had silence. Okay, we'll do it later. So when you say being, are you talking about God? If you are, then why don't you say it? It's a beautiful question which has been asked by Eckhart Tolle, and let's see what he replies. Naveen, over to you.
The word God has become empty of meaning through thousands of years of misuse. I use it sometimes, but I do so sparingly. By misuse, I mean that people who have never even glimpsed the realm of sacred, the infinite vastness behind that word, use it with great conviction, as if they knew what they are talking about, or they argue against it as if they knew what it is that they are denying. This misuse gives rise to absurd beliefs, assertions, and egoic delusions, such as my or our God is the only true God and your God is false. Or the Nietzsche's famous statement, God is dead. The word God has become a closed concept. The moment the word is uttered, a mental image is created, no longer perhaps of an old man with a white beard, but still a mental representation of someone or something outside you. And yes, almost inevitably, a male someone or something.
Just let's wait here. So now, what is God is a question. Is he being? Now, in India also, we have so many religions. Everyone's trying to say that my religion, my philosophy is really the best. My God is really the best. Everyone's kind of saying, okay, no, this isn't our thing, this isn't your thing. Now, the question which we are being asked is, why is God a closed concept? So that's what Eckhart's answer was. Why is God a closed concept? Why mera tera? Why this and that? Why? Why do we have mental images? Of course, in India, we believe in Hinduism, and we have images for all our, gods. In fact, even in Sikhism, we have Guru Nanak Sahib. We have Christ in Christianity, but we don't have any image for Islam, right? So this image concept was actually created by the man himself. Technically, God is just supposed to be a feeling, a supreme power, and that's it. But you and I have uttered images and we get strength from that. That's okay. But if you start seeing that, please start analyzing that we have God within us. Andar baste hain hamare is a supreme, beautiful power, which is all about love, light, and power. So there's nothing called a feminine energy. There's nothing called a male energy in India. So of course, this is a Christianity. Eckhart is a Christian, so he's talked about male someone because Jesus Christ is all about male. But in India, we have so many devis and so many devs. Yet there's nothing called a feminine energy or a masculine energy. There's nothing called my God, your God. God is a feeling. God is a feeling of belief, of faith, of knowing that there's one supreme divine power. Now, you want to call it Brahma, Vishnu, Mahesh, creator, destroyer, preserver, or you want to call it any other gods like Shiva for something, Ram for something, Krishna for something. Now, that is, or maybe the Devis for something, Durga is for this, and Saraswati ji is for Vidya, or whatever. Understand that you are getting stuck in some kind of imagery. So, time for you to get out of that world. That is the reason why Baha'ism is actually considered a beautiful faith, though it couldn't spread too much in our country, because that is where they just meditate on a supreme power. One supreme power they're meditating on. In Jainism, they have Mahavir. In Buddhism, they have Buddha. But actually, we are all Buddhas and we are all Buddhus. That's the truth of life. So let's understand this. At least we, the Sangha, we should understand that we are growing and we are not into this imagery, so as to say. It's one common energy. Let's read further.
Neither God, nor being, nor any other word can define or explain the ineffable reality behind the word. So the only important question is whether the word is a help or a hindrance in enabling you to experience that toward which it points. Does it point beyond itself to that transcendental reality, or does it lend itself too easily to becoming no more than an idea in your head that you believe in, a mental idol? The word being explains nothing, but nor does God. Being, however, has the advantage that it is an open concept. It doesn't reduce the infinite, invisible to a finite entity. It is impossible to form a mental image of it. Nobody can claim exclusive possession of being. It is your very essence, and it is immediately accessible to you as the feeling of your own presence, the realization, I am, that is prior to I am this or I am that. So it is only a small step from the word being to the experience of being.
So let's understand being is so, so important. And yet it is shallow because you don't understand the meaning. So let's understand that being is a part of it when we know that, okay, we are the beings and the spirit is always eternal. And we have a God within us, the power within us. When we get that feeling that, I'm empowered, I'm enlightened, and I am just a small step from the world of being to experience the world of being means what? So it is a only small step from the word being to the experience of being. So people are saying, okay, I'm a human being. But actually, are you being or have you been? Are you in the past or are you in the future? Who is being? It's right in the present. That is what we are being told to think about God not boxing him or her, just knowing a supreme power and that we are the beings with every power inside us. With this, let's take a 2 minute pause and you will hear the voice of silence. So just sit down if you're doing something, multitasking, just straighten yourself, close your eyes, and just hear this beautiful sound of silence. I am a human being. I'm realizing that the power is within me. The supreme being, who we call God, is within me. And I am flowing in divine love. And that's the power of my being. I'm always in the present, enjoying every present moment. Never procrastinating, never thinking about the past or future. I am in the being right now. Thank you. Let's turn the page, sir. Okay. The next question to Eckhart was, what is the greatest obstacle to experiencing this reality? Yes, Naveen.
Identification with your mind, which causes thought to become compulsive. Not to be able to stop thinking is a dreadful affliction, but we don't realize this because almost everybody is suffering from it. So it is considered normal. This incessant mental noise prevents you from finding that realm of inner stillness that is inseparable from being. It also creates a false mind made self that casts a shadow of fear and suffering. We will look at all that in more detail later. The philosopher Descartes believed that he had found the most fundamental truth when he made his famous statement, I think, therefore I am. He had, in fact, given expression to the most basic error to equate thinking with being and identity with thinking. The compulsory thinker, which means almost everyone, lives in a state of apparent separateness in an insanely complex world of continuous problems and conflict, a word that reflects the ever increasing fragmentation of mind. Enlightenment is a state of wholeness, of being at one and therefore at peace, at one with life in its manifested aspect, the world, as well as your deepest self and life unmanifested at one with being. Enlightenment is not only the end of suffering and of continuous conflict within and without, but also the end of the dreadful enslavement to incessant thinking. What an incredible liberation this is. Identification with your mind creates an opaque screen of concepts, labels, images, words, judgments, and definitions that blocks all true relationship. It comes between you and yourself, between you and your fellow man and women, between you and nature, between you and God. It is this screen of thought that creates the illusion of separateness, the illusion that you are you, that there is you, and a totally separate other. You then forget the essential fact that underneath the level of physical appearances and separate forms, you are one with all that is. By forget, I mean that you can no longer feel this oneness as self evident reality. You may believe it to be true, but you no longer know it to be true. A belief may be comforting. Only through your own experience, however, does it become liberating. Thinking has become a disease. Disease happens when things get out of balance. For example, there's nothing wrong with cells dividing and multiplying in the body. But when this process continues in disregard of the total organism, cells proliferate and we have disease. Note, the mind is a superb instrument if used rightly. Used wrongly, however, it becomes very destructive. To put it more accurately, it is not so much that you use your mind wrongly. You usually don't use it at all. It uses you. This is the disease. You believe that you are your mind. This is the delusion. The instrument has taken you over.
So, very important to understand that we are now talking about human beings. Initially, we talked about God, the idea of God, about imagery. Now, we're talking about human beings. We have this incessant mental noise, just chatter going on and on and on. And you can't separate them from yourself because it's such a world that you're just all the time that little voice is talking to you. Now, this is what is happening. If we are compulsively thinking, how can we just realize our enlightenment? We are then compulsively thinking and we're also boxing ourselves. We've boxed God, now we're boxing ourselves. Because it's separateness. I'm a man, you're a woman. I'm a woman, you're a man. I'm rich, you're poor. I'm of this caste, you're from that caste. Or we are Indians, or we are Norwegians. We have put ourselves into so many boundaries and so much of emotional turmoil, mental turmoil, and our compulsive thinking is actually taking us away from the idea of a state of wholeness. We are in this entire program, each one of us is whole and complete. And you're part of this whole bigger picture. So, what we are only seeing is our small picture, where everything is I, me, and am. The ego is also part of the mind. Now we have made ourselves into labels, images, we are judging, we are defining, and that is what separates us. And we're supposed to be together. We're supposed to be with nature, get all the positive from nature. The more time you spend in nature, the more inward you'll grow as a person. Now let's understand thinking as actually a disease. We're thinking so much all the time, and that is what's detrimental to our growth also, because our body is also growing in a negative fashion. So very important for us to understand that let's not accuse, let's not blame, let's not just play a very beautiful, glad game and let our mind not use us. Our conscious mind is such a mere small fragment and that is using us. So let's believe that we are love, we are light, we are neither a mind, we are neither a body. And that's all a delusion. So let's understand that you and me can really grow inward. Another question was posed to Eckhart.
I don't quite agree. It is true that I do a lot of aimless thinking, like most people, but I can still choose to use my mind to get and accomplish things. And I do that all the time. Just because you can solve a crossword puzzle or build an atom bomb doesn't mean that you use your mind. Just as dogs love to chew bones, the mind loves to get its teeth into problems. That's why it does crossword puzzles and builds atom bombs. You have no interests in either. Let me ask you this. Can you be free of your mind whenever you want to? Have you found the off button?
In simple Hindi, this is राई का पहाड़ बनाना. दिमाग में कुछ भी नहीं है, उसको इतना ग्रो करके कंफ्यूज कर दिया, पजल कर दिया और उसको फिर बहुत एटम बॉम्ब बना दिया. So please understand, life is very simple. Find your off button where you can switch off from this chatter all the time, this thinking, incessant thinking all the time. It's absolutely aimless thinking. So find the switch off button. You're always switched on. हमेशा सोच रहे होते हो. The only time you go off the button is when you are just concentrating on your breath. That is the time your mind silences. Try that sometimes. Deep breathing was just watching your breath. That's the only time your mind shuts down. Another question?
You mean stop thinking altogether? No, I can't, except maybe for a moment or two. Then the mind is using you. You are unconsciously identified with it, so you don't even know that you are its slave. It's almost as if you were possessed without knowing it. Next place, please. And you take the possessing entity to be yourself. The beginning of freedom is the realization that you are not the possessing entity, the thinker. Knowing this enables you to observe the entity. The moment you start watching the thinker, a higher level of consciousness becomes activated. You then begin to realize that there is a vast realm of intelligence beyond thought, that thought is only a tiny aspect of that intelligence. You also realize that all the things that truly matter, beauty, love, creativity, joy, inner peace, arise from beyond the mind. You begin to awaken.
How beautiful. How do we awaken ourselves? How do we awaken ourselves? Simply start seeing again and again and again, I'm neither the mind nor the body. Because whatever you're thinking, that, oh, I'm thinking this thought, this is coming, this is I, it's not you. It's your higher self, your inner guidance telling you to do something. Even if you're creating something, yes, we are all born creative. But why are we are born creative? Because ultimately, this body's hands are working or mind is working, depicting something. But what are we doing? It's all our inner guidance, which is unfolding, manifesting. And the day we realize that the inner guidance is actually guiding us, then the thinker mind doesn't work too much. And then what's happening? Whatever decision you take in life will be only successful because your higher self will never guide you otherwise. So it's very important to realize that all the things which are blissful, which give you joy, are a part of your subconscious being, which is always there to guide you. It's just that we have to awaken, we have to become aware, we have to be conscious all the time. And consciousness becomes activated. And consciousness is nothing but awareness, awareness of who am I. At this juncture, let's take another pause and think about what we've just studied. A back straight. Let's become more aware of our true identity. I'm neither a name, nor a person, nor an image, nor any man or woman. I'm a vehicle chosen by my soul to make its purpose come true. And so it is. Thank you so much, Naveen, for reading. Thank you, Ritesh sir, for showcasing. Tomorrow we will begin the next section. Today we'll go on to Luke Cottino's Magic Weight Loss Pill. So I hope this book is bringing some clarity to all our minds because it's very important for us to understand. It's only a thought and thoughts can always be changed. So thankful. Absolutely. Observe your thoughts. Don't become the thought. Very nice. Being in awareness. Very beautiful. Namaste, Anshul. Thank you for the wish. So, yes, we're all changing, evolving. And the minute we start thinking that, this drama around me is absolutely not required, We'll just pick. It's tough. Yes, Amit, it's tough. That's why I say absorb what you can. Don't try too hard. So when you try, it becomes tough. When you just flow, जो भी आ रहा है बहुत अच्छा आ रहा है. Yeah, and अपने आप समझ में आएगा by the end of it. Today we're talking about a very beautiful element, chapter number 2 on oxygen. It's the vitamin O. Let's read about this beautiful vitamin O, how important it is and what does it do for us. Yes, Naveen.
With the rapid pace at which the world is moving, complicated and expensive solutions seem to be on the rise, and yet more people are sicker and unhealthier. More healthy people are also struggling to knock off those last few extra kilos or midriff fat. What you may need is simple, inexpensive, and free, yet taken for granted and underutilized oxygen, or as I like to call it, vitamin O. We just don't breathe enough. Stop right now and observe how you breathe. Are you breathing to your full capacity? Are you breathing from your chest or belly? Your answer will most likely be no, and you will notice that you are breathing from the chest.
So before we began meditation, a lot of you, we spoke about this, were doing shallow breathing. यहाँ breath जाकर it was going back. But when you realize कि हमें पेट फुलाना है, so consciously हमारी breath अंदर तक जा रही थी and पेट फूल रहा था. Otherwise, if you just see most of people, if you just see यहीं तक जाती है. So deep breathing is a very beautiful fact. People who breathe deep, they lose their weight automatically because the entire body aligns. Those extra kilos, those belly beers, the beer bellies, they just vanish because then you're breathing correct. But you're supposed to breathe, and this beautiful oxygen is so expensive. You've seen the magic book. It's so expensive and you have to buy it when people are put on ventilators. But we are getting unadulterated access all the time, pure oxygen. So why not take this vitamin O all the time? Why not go to your terraces or gardens and just breathe in, deep breathe in? Very important to understand. Now, what is the correct way to breathe? Let's understand.
The correct way to belly breathe: sit with your back erect, put your hand on your belly. Now take a deep breath. As you slowly inhale, your belly and hand should rise. As you exhale, your belly and hand should fall back down.
Let's do it right now to understand that is that happening. So our back straight, and let's take a deep breath in. And just before that, put your hand on your belly, on your navel, and just see where the hand rises or if it falls, collapses. So let's inhale a deep breath in and exhale. So, okay, now in the chat box, let me know, did your hand rise or did it collapse inside? I'm sure now we've had 71 plus days, so we probably are already rise. Yes, rise up, rise. Yes, rise up. Very nice. So, yes, that's because all of us have concentrated this practice every time. But before we joined, tell me now, before we joined the batch, it was going ulta, na? Before. Now, the question I've asked is confused. Okay, Ritu. So, observe and you'll get to know the answer very clearly. Earlier, yes, earlier you were confused. Absolutely. Earlier, kabhi kaise. That is why we were having physical, yes, actually ulta. Yes, earlier. Absolutely. Because we were not told, right? कभी किसी ने बताया ही नहीं कैसे ब्रेथ करना है. Schools में सिखाते हैं physics, chemistry, math. Do they teach you how to breathe? Do they teach you that you're one? Do they teach you all about love and light? And they're teaching you ABCD from, and now they said abacad, a phonetic language. But we're supposed to be taught these things, right? Which correct our posture, which correct the way we live. So that is what. But anyways, thanks to Luke Cortino and so many beautiful authors, we realize the right path. So, sir, you can change the page, please. And when you correctly breathe, you will definitely become more healthy. So yes, please
Think
read.
of your stomach as a balloon that inflates and deflates with your breath. The more you eat, the deeper you should breathe. When you take in enough vitamin O, fat is broken down and your intestines absorb all the nutrition from the food you eat. When you breathe correctly while you eat, your body fills up much quicker and you end up eating less than you normally would. So practice this. Before you eat anything, sit with your back erect. It's also a great time to offer thanks and gratitude for the meal you are about to eat and bless your food. Take 3 deep breaths from your belly. Inhale comfortably and make sure you exhale slow and long each time. Between every bite, take 1 deep breath. End your meal with 3 deep breaths.
Okay, it might sound tough. It's not tough at all. I've been practicing this and it's really beautiful. So that's mindful eating. It's also heartful eating for me. So, firstly, I don't have meals with the family. Yeah, I'm somebody who could say it's bad culture because I don't like to get deviated because everyone's like talking about school and yay and war. We are 8 of us. So, this is like, that's a family time, right? So, in a way, everyone's talking. So, I anyways eat my food before the sunset. So, it's pretty comfortable. And when I do this, it's very easy. Between every bite, you take a deep breath in, and the more so say if you inhale at it's double the count for exhaling. Very slow exhale. And when you end your food, you bite, it's just going to be a very beautiful, soulful meal for you. Because that's how beautiful it is. Yes, please.
The more stressed you get, the more deeply you should breathe to counter the rise of cortisol and blood pressure. Even the inflammation and pain that may be caused due to rise in these is soothed when oxygen hits the cells. It's also what helps your hair grow strong and your skin glow. Breathing correctly is essential while exercising too. You can complete a well planned workout in 30 minutes and keep your cortisol levels in check when you don't have 45 minutes or an hour to spare. Breathe deeply, particularly while when you're doing yoga, by aligning and coordinating your breath with your movement. So make sure you begin and end the day with deep breathing or pranayama.
So I want to share something with you all that breathing is so important. People who are suffering from weight, it's because of breathing is not correct. And when you intertwine Luke's teaching, your fat molecules will break on their own and you will not even get stressed. Now, exercising will, you'll never pant. Now, if you see yoga, like I've been learning yoga from Dr. Jain now for the past 5, 6 days. And now he's making us do Surya Namaskars with the flow, and we're not even getting tired. We're getting our energy build up, build up, build up because the breathing is correct. In fact, the more we breathe correctly, the more yoga we are able to do. The more when I come back in the normal session, I'm like, oh, I'm so energized. Guess what? I haven't eaten a single morsel in 60 hours. I'm breathing, and I'm high on cellular energy. So who needs food? He says that Prachi, you may be a breatharian. You may be just living on breath if that's because you've already reached there. And I'm like, 60 hours, I haven't felt hungry at all. And then, of course, in Luke's book, if people have read The Dry Fasting Miracle, every normal person like you and me, we've reached 72 hours, 80 hours, we've done that. And how do we do that? So if you're breathing correctly, this is how, and people have had dry fasting. I'm fully on liquids. I mean, I'm having my water, on a water diet. But breathing correctly is so imperative. So very important to plan breathing. Take your steps, lesser number of things, but breathing should be correct. Don't make it so fast. Breathing is very beautiful. It'll help you detox your mind, your body, and everything will become in harmony. Wonderful. So thank you, Ritesh sir, for showcasing this chapter for us, and thank you, Naveen, for reading all the 3 books so beautifully. I loved your voice. I loved the command. Thank you, thank you, thank you. All right. So can I have Ankur today to read the heart thought, or Shami, any one of you? I don't think I've heard the two of you. So if possible, if not, of course, that's okay. So Ritesh sir, you can showcase our wonderful book, Heart Thought. Let's see our blessing for the day. What is our blessing? You know, Naveen, your voice has so much of experience. It's got terrav. It's beautiful.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you. Yes. Thank you, Ankur. So today is also about letting go. I let go of the need for this condition in my life. So if we have conditions in our life, which is whatever, it's because of our thoughts. We are holding on to that thought, and that's what is giving the condition. So if you still have a habit that you're doing, ask yourself, how does it serve you? What do you get out of it? If you no longer had it, what would happen? Very often people say, my life would be better. So why do you believe that you don't deserve to have a better life? So if you have some habit, it could be tobacco, it could be alcohol, it could be cigarettes, it could be over binging, it could be seeing a binge watcher, it could be like too much of socializing. Just let's ask ourselves a question. Why is it that we are holding on to this thought and this habit? Why is it coming to us again in patterns and patterns? Because we are not able to let it go. So, let go is such an important quality. I let go of the need for this condition in my life. So it is. Yes, Ankur, please.
Good morning, everybody.
Good morning.
I let go of the need for this condition in my life. We create habits and patterns because they serve us in loving in some way. Sometimes we are punishing someone or loving someone. It is amazing the number of illnesses created because we want to punish a parent or love a parent. I am going to have diabetes just like my daddy because I love my daddy. It may not always be on a conscious level, but when we start looking within, we will find the pattern. We often create negativity because we do not know how to handle some area of our lives. We need to ask ourselves, what am I feeling sorry about? Who am I angry at? What am I trying to avoid? How will this save me? If we are not ready to let something go, really wanting to hold on to it because it serves us, it doesn't matter what we do, it will not work. When we are ready to let it go, it is amazing how the smallest thing can help us release it. Thank you.
Oh, wonderful. Thank you. Very powerful voice again. Thank you so much. So again, such a beautiful science. Now somebody, even Niriksha questioned me that, punish a parent? Like, hello, what are you talking? But it's not about that. It's about we saying, oh, obesity is in my family. Oh, my parents have this. Oh, I'm going to have it. So, and you know what? The weight on the arms, the weight on the breast, the weight on the stomach, the weight on the thighs or the hips is also because of our beliefs. And if you look at this, so in the Abhipriti, I have put those affirmations, and I've also mentioned arms, thighs. So that you affirm if you have one body part which has too much of weight there, affirm that a little more times. Because whether you believe or not, this is a science. It's not something that she's saying out of whims and fancies. She's done a deep down study, and even people before her, her masters have done the study. And she's again like Rhonda Byrne has brought things to us in a very simple fashion from all the varied authors. Similarly, Louise Hay also has had many, many teachers. Of course, for me, she's akin to God because she's really healed me out of cancer. So let's understand that all of us have some beliefs that are triggering us in the way we are living. Everything has a reason. Even if I'm complaining, conniving, or something, even that has a pattern. Let's understand, and before that, let's introspect. Let's reflect. What are we doing? Is our life better like this with this habit, or do we really need to get off this habit? And if yes, then we have to let go of that condition, not the habit. Habit will happen automatically. Like the way I say, weight will go automatically. Weight is never the issue. The issue is the scene behind, the root cause for it. सो डोंट थिंक ऑफ मुझे ये हैबिट छोड़नी है, नहीं, हैबिट नहीं छोड़नी है, हमें हैबिट के रूट कॉज में जाना है, उसको अंडरस्टैंड करना है, लेट गो करना है, हैबिट अपने आप छूट जाएगी. So with this beautiful power thought, let's understand that life is absolutely beautiful, and we are going to be taking our journey forward. Yes, Ankur, after I heard you, I realized that you had read for us. Yes, the voice, I could get familiar. So thank you so much. So Ritesh sir, thank you showcasing all the 4 books for us. And thank you once again, Naveen and Ankur, for reading so magically for all of us. Okay, any meditation, anything that you want to specially meditate about? Firstly, I was too overwhelmed yesterday. I believe I'm Prachi, I'm just a channel, and then the gurus and everything. It was like a little too much, but I was overwhelmed in love. So thank you for all the love you showed. It was an absolute delight to, a little embarrassing, I would say more than delight. It was a little embarrassing, but I'm going to take them to my heart. They're very, very, very beautiful. So, and I'm a person who archives. So if possible, you can put them on that Maybe that flyer, that blue flyer for the moon, maybe there, what you've posted here, just there, so that I can save it. So, I save the entire conversation that, this was the conversation. So if possible, put on the Sangha page on the Facebook. If not, it's okay. I'm going to probably take screenshots and just stay with them, because sometimes it's beautiful to just, when you're feeling low, you just go back to them and you feel, okay, I have a purpose. So thank you, thank you, thank you. I don't think anybody has any scene for any meditation, so I can just do a generic one, it seems. But if anybody has any worries, any pains anywhere, we can definitely work on that also. So, all right. Today, let's hear the Buddha's flute and let's go deeper and analyze ourselves. Yes, Nisha, thank you for the topic. Eyes closed, back straight, feet firmly placed on the ground below or cross-legged. However you deem to choose to sit, please understand you have to imagine being rooted to Mother Earth, grounded. Our eyes are closed lightly, and let's wear a smile. Let's inhale love. Exhale the love. Remember, the more we share, the more it grows. Let's inhale light. And share your light with the world outside by making it brighter. Let's receive, inhale acceptance of who we are, of how the world is. And let's release this reason to hold on to something. Any negativity attached with it, just release, let go as you exhale out. Life is a giver. Life is meant for giving. Forgive, for giving love. Life is meant for forgetting, for getting love. Love is the only essence that binds us into oneness. No man, no mankind, no human, just being. Oneness with animals, oneness with plants, oneness with everyone, everything, every circumstance. When we think about this, are we getting aware? Is our consciousness rising? That we are all one energy. If we are all one, then where is the chance and the need to just get angry, have grievance, get frustrated? Where is the need? Can we tell ourselves, this too shall pass, and I am one with everything. We are one. There's eternal oneness, and nothing agitates me. I don't give the power to anybody, anything, any circumstance to trouble me, irk me, because I am one. If I am one, why would I show my attitude? Why would I hold on to a negative emotion? Why would I hold on to something which is so fatal for my health? Why resentment? Why can't I believe in the true meaning of forgive and forget? Why can't I understand that forgive it in itself is all about love? Forgiving love. That's what I am. When I am loved, the other person is loved. That's what it's meant to be, energy exchange. In return, it makes you feel so beautiful. Where is the I? Who is the I? The body or the conscious mind? That's just puppetry. We are here to solve our life's purpose. And the life has been chosen by our higher self, by the angels, by the guardians, who always seeing us where we are heading in our journey. When we are not on the right path, they give us knocks and shocks purposely. Losing a loved one, getting fatally sick, something which is so negative. Because you have to be shaken, you have to be knocked and shaken out of your dream world of just nothing but bogus. And now, when people say something to us, we hold on, we hoard the negativity. We can't seem to forgive because, oh, the person said something so unpardonable. Oh, this happened. I didn't deserve it. Who am I? Who am I? Who am I? I am love. I am light. I'm made in this image of God, a spiritual being having a human experience, but with consciousness arising, knowing that I'm the consciousness, that I'm the awareness, aware of my true reality, my identity of love, light, bliss, peace, joy. That's who I am. I'm a mere channel of love and light. So why should I hold on to any negativity? And why should I be the one to give the negativity? Why can't I ask myself a simple human question? How do I like to be treated? I love compliments. I love appreciation. Should I not do the same with the other? How do I like when I'm criticized? Should I criticize the other? Things to think about. Let's explore our inner being, our true self, and come to a version where we forgive very easily, where we forget very easily, because we are all one, radiating and one common energy of love and light. And so it is. So it is. So it is. Let's bow down our heads in gratitude towards planet Earth, Janani Janmabhoomi, Ma Prakriti, Sister Gaia of our Maharishis. You are an unconditional giver. You are always nurturing me with love, light, compassion, humility. You're always rooting for me, and grounding me. That may I always be a person who empowers other, and that I may not become somebody who egotistical. So yes, Mother Earth, I will resonate back more with you, live more in you to get your compassion a bit more in life. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Let's thank our wonderful lives that we have lived, or life, our glorious present, which is full of serenity, calmness, and a feeling of wonderment. Let's thank our future as its absolute magic. Thank you, dear life. I love you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Let's look up at heavens above. Thank all the masters, the cosmos. Let's thank all the gurus in this dimension or the other, in this realm or the others, to all the teachers who've come to us in one form or another, to our divinities who are always showering their blessings on us, to the others who are teaching us, to all the angels for looking over us, to the guardians for always ensuring we are protected all the time. Divine love is how we feel, and divine love is what we are. Thank you, thank you, thank you, universe, for having my back. Thank you, life, for having my back. Let's open our hands at the heart level, expand our angel hearts. Today, let your palms face heavenwards. I am love. I am light. I shine bright, bright now, bright here. I'm here for a purpose, and I'm on an inward journey of finding my purpose. I'm whole and complete. I'm open and receptive to the goodness and to the love in the universes. Wherever I turn, prosperity follows because I flow in love. Let's fold our hands in gratitude in front of our heart. Have a minute's reflection of your own personal gratitude for whoever. Gratitude to our source relationships, our parents who brought us in this world, who we've chosen to serve our purpose. To all our elders, to all our loved ones who've been our teachers in this beautiful game of life. Let's rub our hands together, feel the energy flow, bless our conscious subconscious for restructuring, reprogramming, tuning into a high frequency and making us vibrate on a higher frequency. On a wonderful face, thank our eyesight, our earsight, our smelling, our mouth, our spoken skills, our touch, a wonderful neck, the food pipe that's bringing in spiritual energy, cellular love, our shoulders, keep them light, shrug off any excess weight. You're not responsible for anything. Get that off your mind. If you love, you will automatically do it. When there's lack of love comes a responsibility. So flow in love. Let your shoulders get lighter. Just massage them and feel the energy and the negative energy or the burden brushing off your shoulders. Massage your arms, upper to lower. Thank them, including your fingers, thumb, and nails, for being our extension and doing our beautiful work. A back that's holding us straight, proud, tall, our spinal cord always giving us the strength, our hips for grounding us, our chest, our lungs for breathing in the beautiful vitamin O. May you breathe much more, more deeply. May the breath go to the belly so that we can all heal inward. To our absolutely magical, wonderful heart, which has got brightened yesterday with the healing, bringing in the green color of the chakra. We are flowing in love, for we've all prayed and blessed and wished and shown our deepest gratitude for all who matter. So wonderful liver, and detoxing, and that's always going on detox now. Our stomach that takes only the amount of food it should. On our kidneys, gallbladder, uterus, intestines, sexual organs, excretory organs, thighs, knees, calves, soles of our feet with the ankles, toe finger and nails. Let's come back up at our heart level and thank our wonderful body with such perfect organs and such a support system, which is absolutely enviable. 100 trillions, 100,000 kilometers of blood circulation system, the trillions of cells, the muscles, tissues, glands, fibers. Wow, so lovely. Bones, skin. We are indeed blessed. And to the energy, the pran, the chi, or the ki that flows in us, which we are now invoking to share our love, light, healing, blessings, and abundance wishes with our Sangha, their loved ones, and all beings on Mother Earth. May our Mother Earth get on a higher dimension with more of us raising the consciousness. May we be the channels of love and light. And so it is. Let's be the channels of love and light, says Vanitya and says me. So love, light, and blessings. Ritu, Rigu, Naveen, Kavita, Prashant, Nehal, Hina, Vyanji, Ushaji, Pratimaji, Mitu, Bhuvan, Nitin, Shubhra, Vandana, Siddharth, Nisha, Rima, Archana, Shami, Ankur, Monish, Nikita, Shelly, Madhuta, Sanya, Mom, Jitindraji, Ankita, Rajiv, Payal, Anchal, Anika, Kripa, Monica, Raviji, Peena, Parul, Poonam, Akshay, Ankur, Rima, Sunita, Rohini ji, Reena, Amit, Garima, Gaurav, Yuvi, Harpreet, Sakshi Mathur, Seema, Amit, Asmeet, Alifya, Minakshi, Puneet, 1121 for Life, Rashi, Neelam, Niriksha. I think that's it. So thank you, thank you, thank you. Today is the other Sakshi's birthday, not Mathur, but yes. And she's happily celebrating her birthday, so she's gone for a holiday. So her Sangha Mitras, I hope you know about it. And today, 8 to 10 of them are also moving out to Udaipur for their first Sangha, first meeting. So I don't know how many of them will attend tomorrow morning. They're saying one screen, all of us will attend. God knows what mayhem they'll do. So lots of love and light to all you bonding buddies. Have a great time celebrating your 4, 5, 6, 7 months of journey together in the one-to-one Sangha. So more power to everyone. May the friendships become more cherished in this beautiful weekend that you have. A good 4, 5 days. So enjoy with your families, with your spouses, and have a great, great time with your Sangha Mitras. So thank you, thank you, thank you. And thank you, Ritesh sir, for showcasing the session in the morning, despite being in the early days of your marriage. I really appreciate that. If you are happy to hand over, I'm happy to take over. So thank you, Ritesh sir. Thank you, Sanjay sir. Thank you, Amrita. Thank you, Shweta. Thank you, thank you, thank you. God bless us all. May we rise and shine. And thank you. I've written a note for all of you for gratitude. I'm just working on it. I'll share that soon. So thank you so much. Dil se. Atma Namaste.